I am Brigadier Dr. Vijay Sagar Dheman. I am again here with you to tell you something very important about the leadership lessons. Well, this is a subject which intrigues many, and you've got to conduct many workshops for this to understand what exactly it is. But today I'm just sharing with you what my father shared with me. My father was a very accomplished personality who achieved a lot in life. And when I was growing up with him, he told me certain things. He said, Sam, please understand these things and follow them, and you'll be a better leader. First of all, he said, whatever you want to do in life, there's something called Pareto's principle. Pareto's principle is 80-20 law. That means 20% of the effort would get you 80% of your achievement, and 80% of the effort would get you only 20% of the achievement. Now you have to understand this particular thing in a very, very discrete manner. And once you understand that, you will be able to concentrate on that 20% effort, which is going to give you 80% results. Now, how do you do that? The first thing is you note down all your priorities in life in a day. What all are the requirements in a day? What all, and prioritize them, and the priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. And then write 10 of those. And then pick up those first 2. We're going by 20-80 rule. The 20% what Pareto said. Those should be most important things. Now, once you identified those two most priority subjects, you should work on that the whole day. And it would give you absolute energy, excellence, and it give you beautiful rewards and fantastic your output. And this would be probably the sweet spot of your day. And this is what we should be trying to do always. And I can assure you, this particular technique would give you life-changing results. Second thing, my dad was very vehement many times. He had some kind of a saying in his mind. He used to say, look, this is only one life that we have. And this will also pass. So made me understand as to what this thing means, that there is only one life and it will also pass. The meaning that he made me understand, my father made me understand, that anything that goes wrong in life, do not get perturbed. If good things don't remain, bad things will not remain either. They are also likely to go back. So when once bad things are happening, your aim is that you stick to your guns. Stay on the wicket. The scoreboard will keep moving. That is all you have to do. When you are not able to perform, when you get stuck, firstly, that period will pass. And during that period, you have to stay on the wicket. You do not give up. You do not lose the wicket at all. And he says, you should be busy. You should be busy doing effective things. That means don't be busy just for the sake of being busy. If that busyness gets you some positive results, go for it by all means. But if you do not get the results, you try to modify into a manner. So it is more important to be having a smart goals rather than normal goals. You should have smart goals. The goal setting should be smart. That you put in minimal effort and you get the maximum result. Third thing he told me was, whatever you do in life, do not give up. I am reminded of an incident, what happened after the Second World War. Winston Churchill, who won the World War II for the Allies, so he was an instant hero after the Second World War. To cut the story short, he was invited to a school where he had studied himself. And with all the things happening, the last question was asked to him by one of the students. Sir, tell us, what is the secret of your success? And Winston Churchill got up from the seat, climbed up the dais, went up there, stood there for about few seconds. He kept watching the entire gathering in the auditorium, and then slowly and surely he started speaking. And what he spoke, I quote, never, 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 never. Once he was doing never, 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 people were wondering what is he saying. And finally he says, never give up, unquote. There was a pin drop silence in the auditorium because nobody understood what exactly has he said. Then suddenly, there was an English teacher standing somewhere behind. He was the first teacher to understand what Winston Churchill has said. And she started clapping. And slowly, it started reverberating with others, and they understood what a big thing is he said. So everybody got up and gave him a standing ovation. And this is Guinness Book of World Records for standing ovation to anybody till this day. So what he meant was, whatever you do, never give up. Again, what he said was, do not leave the wicket. Stay on the wicket. Scoreboard will keep moving. You will have to do that. So, gentlemen and ladies, I can tell you what my father taught me. I evolved from there. It says, winners never quit and quitters never fail. If you want to be a winner, you cannot quit. If you really want to be a winner, you cannot quit. And if you're a quitter, you will never win. And I give you a live example. You see any game for that matter. This thing applies. And let's talk about boxing. In a boxing ring, a guy gives a knockout punch to his opponent. Opponent falls down. But opponent is not declared loser immediately. There is a count of 10. Opponent gets up again. And again he gets a punch. Again he falls down. And then he again gets a count of 10. He again gets up. So point is, as long as he keeps getting up, he is not declared the loser. But now what happens? The guy who was giving him knockout punches, one after the other, he gets tired. And the guy who's falling down is getting 10 seconds, 10 counts every time to recuperate. So he's got much more energies with him. Now he gives the knockout punch to his opponent and it is the winner. So this particular game teaches us, as long as you keep bouncing back, after your failure, after you being knocked out, you keep getting up, you will be the winner. And this is what my father taught. He said that you must be in that game always. Never give up till you get what you have got. And once you reach your goal, you should immediately set another goal which is higher than that. And that is the real success. That is the real optimization of your own self. Then he taught me another lesson. He said, son, relationships are very important. Relationships could be your relations in your family, your friends, your subordinates, anybody on the road. You may not be knowing anybody. Let's say you go to, church or mandir or a gurdwara, where you meet so many people every day. They're not your friends. But once you interact with them, formally or informally, or even saying good morning to them, or namaste to them, sat shri akal to them, you do it with the first name. Name is the sweetest sound in this world to anybody's ears. My name would be music to my ears. If somebody calls me Vijay, I would be the most happiest person to listen. Rather than saying, excuse me, hey you there, excuse me sir, all this means nothing. Moment you start recalling a guy by the first name, it automatically becomes your friend. And then if you have to interact with that guy, with that person, to synergize into some of your goals in life, that would be the easiest thing to be done. That would be the easiest thing to be done. And that optimizes the success of your life. That optimizes your leadership potential. So this is what he told me there. Well, the next lesson that he taught me is to talk to me very often, that he used to say that you should do your best always. Whatever you do, whatever you indulge in, you should give your 100%. Do not make any half-hearted effort. Like I've been telling my daughter, you want to do something prankish, you're playing a trick, which may not be good, but put your heart and soul. This should become a habit for you to put your heart and soul into everything you do. Your expectations, you will be surprised, would be phenomenal. And even if you come into competition with somebody, you have to face lots of criticism. Do not get perturbed by that. Keep doing your best, because people will criticize you only once you are doing some positive activity. Once you start achieving your goals, that is the time the society comes in by nature, that they start criticizing. So if criticism comes through, that means you are doing well. So you should always put your heart and soul into it. And then from every criticism, you should not react. You should try to do a bit of introspection. Whenever somebody criticizes you, you should either become a placater in front of him, or you can, sort of become a computer in front of him. You compute, or you can even be a justifier in front of them. But once you get back, once the moment is under control, the situation is under control, you get back, you must introspect. There may be, if guys criticize you, there may be 1% actual truth in that. There may be certain area of your life which may not be perfect, which you may not be aware of otherwise. But now that criticizer has actually done a favor to you by telling you, look, you have these deficiencies, or this is where you are wrong. You can correct that. And then my father said, whenever you are interacting with somebody, please listen more and talk less. Now what happens is, when I'm talking to you what I already know. Then only I will be, that internal representation in my mind will be physiological behavior of mine in front of you. But when I'm listening, there is a possibility, fair amount of possibility, that I may learn something from you. So my knowledge bank increases. So if I want to be a good leader, I must be a good listener. I must listen to everybody in the full capacity. Even if I have to give some time, I must have patience to listen. So this is what my father taught me. This is how you will become a better person, a better leader. And finally, he used to tell me, son, always faith in whatever God you never. God's blessings will never go away. If you follow these things, I can assure you, you would be a better leader. And I can tell you, I've had fantastic success of life. I have reached the highest potential of my career. I have been additional director general. I have been a vice chancellor. I'm a professor. Today, I'm helping out lots of young boys and girls for becoming better leaders as entrepreneurs, and even the existing leaders in the industry, even existing leaders elsewhere, they all being benefited by it. Even for that matter, housewives. I see some children feeling shy of telling my mother is a housewife. I tell them, I said, look, your mother is a leader of the house, and look at the skills she has. She has to manage the house. She has culinary skills. She has management of your laundry, management of your housekeeping, management of any event that happens, event manager within the house. She has so many skills, and she is organizing everything for you, and you call her a housewife. She should be the most multi-skilled manager, because she is managing so many things simultaneously. She's managing finances within the house. She's managing culinary skills. She's managing event management. She's doing your studies, educational management. The complete setup she's providing to the every member of the family. So this is what the leadership is all about. So all these things what my father taught, I can assure you, my mother was also using this, albeit in a different form. I have spoken to you in more of an academic form, but they were doing in more of a practical form. So these are the leadership skills. You should try to do that. And maybe at a later date, if I shall be conducting a workshop, maybe of 3 days, just to emphasize on this 6-7 points. And it's such a broad subject. But today for introduction, you can follow it. And in case you have any questions, please interact with me on the YouTube. I have a channel called Brigadier Guides You, which is on YouTube. And today you're meeting me on VR1 platform. VR1 platform of mine, of which I'm relying on YouTube. So if you like this video, please subscribe, and you always press the bell icon button so that you keep getting subscriptions about our upcoming videos. So thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.